final time this season for the final round of the Motorsports Australia FIA F4 Esports Cup, live from Silverstone on the full-length Grand Prix circuit and live here on Race Stars TV. My name's Chris Mitchell, joining you for the final round this season with Dave Roberts in commentary for One Final Dance, mate.
Just pointing out it's not the afternoon and anywhere else in Australia but Perth, by the way, Chris.
Well, it is 5:33 in the evening then. Good evening, everyone. Hope you're getting along nicely in the build-up towards Christmas. It's always a frantic time of the year, isn't it?
It is, and we're running very late in the season. I can't believe we're still doing races, but anyway, better not do it next Tuesday. It's Boxing Day.
No, I'll be definitely at a different kind of race next Tuesday. Don't you worry about that.
I will be well fueled up and ready to go, I expect.
As we pick up the back end of qualifying, just catching Ewan Baker getting a bit loose on his way through Beckett's and trying to get a good run out of Chapel onto the hanger straight onto the replay there. Watch this. We're going to get a couple of these blinks at the moment, I think. Whoa, look at that. That is a big swamp run coming out of Beckett's there for Ewan Baker.
Yeah, we've got broadcasting from Bowral, and Bowral's in the middle of quite a big storm there, so we think that's affecting our coverage a little bit, and we're getting a few blinks and dropouts and all sorts of things, but hopefully we'll be okay. If we do disappear, don't panic, we'll be back.
Yeah, we'll try to get back to it as soon as we can, and but we'll push on for this final round of the championship. This is round 10 of the Motorsports Australia FIA F4 Esports Cup. And with just one car that was left on track during qualifying, Ewan Baker comes to a stop in the pit lane. At the conclusion of qualifying, we see Damon Woods on top in time, 2 minutes, 0.834 for your current championship leader coming into this final round. It's still up for grabs, by the way, if you hadn't figured it out yet, Dave, because it looks like it's getting pretty exciting with the way the point score looks between Damon Woods and Callan Chin so far. Here's how the points stack up: 694 for Damon Woods, 647 for Callan Chin, which is not a bad effort.
Points, isn't it?
It's a very tight order, considering Callan Chin has missed 2 rounds and Damon Woods has missed 1. Which was the last round out, round 9 of this championship. It is looking mighty tight at the top to see who is going to be crowned an official Australian esports champion thanks to Motorsport Australia.
Yeah, I think it's quite a small field tonight. We've got only 11 cars have turned up. A bit disappointing from the rest of the field, I will say. The little black mark can go against all those people that didn't come to the end. We've still got a very quality field, and we've got some great racing ahead of us again tonight. If I look at those top 6 particularly, I mean, they've been had it hammer and tongs every round since we started. So, and then we've got Paul Rogers and Brodie Shepherd, Brodie Tressler, Damien Cairns and Caleb Dawson. Now, I wonder what Caleb's wearing tonight.
It'd be interesting to see if we could get. He is in the general webcam, so I'm sure we'll get a chance to look at that. As that's a look at your starting grid there. Damon Woods on the pole, Benjamin Roberts on the front row, and Caleb Dawson has gone crazy. He looks like he's come straight off the Christmas party, straight into the sim. Maybe he's wrapped up work for the year already.
I think he's a version of a fruit punch there.
He's doing the part in the clothing department. Now, interesting, Callan Chin has not bumped into the grid here, so he might be a very late join, but Callan Chin has not joined the grid. You can see that vacant spot in position number 3, and Chin's named grayed out on the left-hand side timing tower. So Callan's only going to have a very small opportunity. There he is. At the very, very last second, he just pops into existence with the Wave Italy number 7 entry for Callan, as he'll be the man to watch tonight to see whether he can upset the apple cart and take the championship out from underneath your current leader, Damon Woods. Benny Roberts on the outside front row, or inside front row, I should say, will be exciting to watch here as we build to a start for the sprint race. 15 minutes of duration, with the results here helping set the starting grid for the, 30-minute feature race.
Yeah, and it's on the full Grand Prix circuit, so it should be a bit of fun. They'll be able to sit in the tail, and they probably won't be able to get away from each other, I'm guessing.
I think there's going to be lots of tail races as we build to a start, and we get away for the sprint race for the Motorsports Australia FIA F4 Esports Cup. Brilliant start there from Damon Woods, who goes immediately over to the preferred racing line into turn 1 at Abbey. They quickly cut to the left at Farm and run up towards a hit hard on the brakes at Village. Oh, bit of a lock up there, and Chin is going to go to the outside to see if he can try the over and under. He pinches down on the race line. Jack Mara slots up into third here as they come out at the loop and out onto Aintree to hit the Wellington straight for the first time. Look at Kalen Chin. He's getting a brilliant run, already looking at the inside of Damon Woods to try and pull that inside move up towards Brooklands for the first time.
And he's done it. He's through and into the lead. There's a great start from Kalen Chin. Ben Roberts has dropped right off the pace here, dropped back to 4th place from the front row of the grid. So Ben obviously had a bit of a poor start. I saw that, and then got hijacked by Jack Mara. Hi, Jack Mara.
Hi, Jack Mara, the hot dog king, up into 3rd place. Now being pressured by Roberts as they hit the old main straight before they make the run into Cops for the first time. Very high-speed corner on a relatively low downforce setup. Look at these guys. They are going nose to tail. Mara right with them as well as they hit Maggots and Beckett's for the first time. Trying to slide the car across the apex, clip those inside sausage curbs, which Jack Mara in the hot dog machine will be expertly attempting that one.
Matt Jarrah.
And then, you saw that one too. As they hit the hanger straight and run up towards slow for the first time. Look at this, Chin's actually building a bit of a gap already.
He has. Well, he built enough of a gap to be able to hold them off down hanger straight, which is a major passing place. So that's pretty good effort. Nice. And Ewan Baker's having to get a bit defensive there with Katsudonis on his tail, and it's because he's driving in the mirrors a little bit. It's given that little gap there between 4th and 5th. You've got to be careful, Lex. If he drops out of that slipstream, they won't be coming back.
Yeah, it's going to be it'll be a very, very long 15-minute race if you drop out of that and lose touch with the field in front. Whoa, someone flying off the track in the back of that shot there. Benny Roberts going exit stage right. He rejoins on the inside of Tom Katsudonis, trying to fight back as they come out of Village towards the loop. Paul Rogers is going to get involved in that now. The 75 Sim Sports entry parking the orange machine to the inside, and Roberts is going to have to let him go through. So back to P7 for Benny Roberts as they hit the Wellington straight. Watch the toe here from Benny. Dive to the inside.
Wouldn't mind to see an onboard replay of exactly what happened there with Ben. Looked like maybe it had a little snap out and speared off to the right off the road.
Yeah, we might be able to get a chance to see that as they're still fighting it out side by side coming out of Nuffield and into Woodcote. Here's maybe a shot that we'll see what happened for Benny. So he's tucking up behind all. He caught it to the curb and he actually ran it right out on the edge. So he momentarily lost control for just a second there. A bit of an interesting spot to do that. But Roberts, flat chat, got it out on the outside curb out of turn 1 and ran it right out to the outside, trying to regain control at turn 2. And then had to give up those spots from Baker, Katsudonis and Rogers, who he still finds himself tucked up behind as they come down the hanger straight into Stowe. This time Benny gets the overlap on the right rear wheel of Rogers. Gets fully alongside at the braking marker, and it's job pretty much done from there on out for Benny Roberts. But now look at the gap he's given away to the top 5 cars. Chin at the moment up the inside of Damon Woods. Reclaims the race lead there. Jack Mara, the hot dog, feeling a bit slippery tonight. He sits back there in P3 watching this action unfolding, because we're only just a couple of minutes into the sprint race.
I think Jack's sitting there waiting for an opportunity to knock. He's ready to answer the door the moment it does.
Out of the farm curve up towards Village, you can see Kalen Chin having to go defensive there. Damon Woods looking for any piece of real estate that he can just stick that front wing in and keep it clean, keep it out of the bounding area of the rear tyres of Kalen Chin, because they would hate to take each other out at the final round of the championship. I'm sure that would make things exciting for us as they hit the Wellington straight. Late as they move out to defend into Brooklands.
Carlin driving very defensive. He's got his eyes in those mirrors, and he's not going to let Damon down the inside of anywhere. If Damon wants to go by, he's going to have to go the long way, right around the outside, I think.
And it's going to make life very, very hard for them here. Little blink as they come onto the main straight, even out towards the pit wall. The blinking just makes it even more exciting as well, as Luke tries to deal with the storm around him from the broadcast studio. Oh, super tight lines through cops as these guys running a super defensive race. Mara would probably start to feel a little bit balked up by these guys if they keep driving so defensive.
Baker got a bit wide there. He just clipped the curb and the car stepped out sideways, stepped out half a car width, and then you're wide. And bit of a moment there for him.
The benefit that it pays to run so tight over those curving is really, really good, but it can soon and very quickly bite you in the backside and spit the car out the other side. We saw that during qualifying as well. Plenty of guys trying to get the car right over the top of those sausage curbs, but it spits them out if they get it just the slightest bit wrong. As again, Caitlin Chin having to go ultra defensive. This time Woods has the inside. Woods on the inside into club. Caitlin trying to do it all the way around the outside. Is going to cut across and keep the lead. Big moves there from Caitlin Chin. Now that's balked up Woods, Mara and Ewan Baker behind, so they're all bottling up right behind him as the leaders continue to have their discussion. I wonder whether the three guys behind are just maybe a bit too scared to get involved because they don't want to cause an upset or take one of these guys out, but they are getting really bottled up behind your leaders right now.
Thing is, if they both finish close together, first or second, I mean, it's a done deal and Damon will walk away with the series. So really, Callan's got to hope that somebody will get involved, get in between. Come on, Jack, down the outside, buddy. And put a bit of gap between them, put some cars between them that then will take some points off Damon, because that's what he needs, Damon to lose points.
So Caitlin Chin
now
really
up in the second now.
Yeah, really trying to encourage Jack to get amongst it there. That's what's going to work out for Caitlin Chin at the moment, as Mara parks it in a second, still side by side with Damon Woods as they come out of Woodcote and make their run down towards Cops Corner. Mara on the inside there. They can fit side by side there. There's plenty of runoff to use as well. And Luke giving us the weather update, but not the weather around the circuit, just the weather around the broadcast studio right now where he is. Can tell you what,
side
mate,
by side through here is not a good idea.
They came out the other side as well. They got it done. Woods will hold second then. The hot dog, Jack Mara, back into P3. Ewan Baker probably watched all that unfold and just lifted off the skinny pedal for a split second because he did not want to be involved in that one.
And back on the back of this lead group again is Benny Roberts. So he's moved up onto the back of Katsadonis now. So back into contention. He's sixth on the road at the moment.
Well, the leader's fighting and slowing everyone else down around them is going to play into the hands of Benny Roberts. He still has the dispatch of teammate Tom Katsadonis as they come out of Club it is, and onto the main straight. Even in an F4, this first corner at Abbey is a pretty sketchy old corner, especially with a relatively low downforce combination on these cars. I mean, let's just be realistic about the F4s. The wings are practically flat in high downforce configuration, so they're a bit of a slippery beast through such a high-speed corner, and then having to arrest all that pace as they slow it down through turns 4 and 5, the loop, and onto Aintree before they hit that Wellington straight and make the run down past the British Racing Drivers Club into Brooklands. You can see Katsadonis still holding on to P5 here.
I'm trying to go around the outside there through Luffield, but it's just, I don't think he's just... Oh, he's got through. He's got through on the inside, coming out of Luffield, so Woods back into the lead.
Well, for a moment, Chin keeping his nose in front by just 100th of a second. They are side by side, neck and neck on the old main straight into Cox. Well, Woods with the preferred line, but Chin's going to run it all the way around. Damon gives him racing room. That is huge amounts of respect between these two. Jack Mara and Ewan Baker are going to go side by side behind him into Maggots and Beckett's. This does not look good.
And Damon's had a big moment there.
But he's held onto it.
Yeah, it got really sideways and had a big spit and a flick, but he hung onto it. He rode that wild bull through the first of the sec.
Watch this here from Damon Woods in the white and blue.
Oh, boy, oh boy.
Bit of a moment there for Damon Woods, and he had the stones to stay into it. and hold on to the car. Watch from on board with Damon Woods. A bit of a hit of the lock. He was lucky he didn't fire it into the side of Kalen Chin. If Kalen was actually alongside him, that would have really ended in tears. Down into Vale and Club then. This time it's a reverse of the role of how they were before. Chin on the inside. Damon's going to get the run around the outside to emerge still alongside down the Hamilton straight with 4.5 minutes to go.
Mara's the one here. He's all over them, and he's threatening to break up this fight at the front. Down the inside, he's up into second. Definitely up into second now through the time line. Did he keep enough corner speed? Probably not. Chin's got higher corner speed around the outside line. Going too wide through this is phenomenal.
It's great to see that they're able to do it and stay clean at the same time. Look at how late Chin is on the brakes. He's the last of the late breakers down at Brooklands, and that closes him right up onto the rear end of Damon Woods into Luffield, and opens up a bit of a gap back to Mara, who was fighting with him just mere moments ago, just a couple of corners ago, and he's given up that much time already. So Chin back in the toe of Damon Woods. Now he's going to pull out down the old main straight. This is a gutsy move from Kalen Chin to try and park it on the inside, and a reverse of the roles from the lap previous. They're going to go side by side. No, they're not. Woods gets to drive and goes back to the lead.
Yeah, it's interesting they get side by side, but it's who's got the road speed in the middle of the corner, because that extra bit of road speed gives them the speed down the next one. They can regain the lead. It's so much about momentum in this car. About keeping your momentum and keeping the road speed up in the middle of the corners. Forget the line, whether you're inside, outside. There's no room down there.
Whether you're on the grass, maybe this time make the move happen.
I'll just go around the outside.
He's trying it. This is going to give him the inside into the Vale and Club chicane. So whether he can hold this off, he gets on the brakes a little bit earlier.
Late on the brakes from Woods. Now Ewan Baker's back up into third, and he's now going to threaten to break these two up. But nobody's been really been able to drive a wedge between them, have they? Now see them swapping the toe, dropping the toe across down, run around the outside. Can he get a go? Switch to the inside. Can I get a little bit of toe and down the inside here into the right-hander? No. Damon's got it covered. Ewan sitting at the back and going, I'm going to take the wide line, see if I can get a run down the inside here. Chin shoves it up the inside into the tight little left-hander. I don't know what that's called, but it's the corner I hate on this circuit. I can never get it right.
Painful one. Look at this. Chin had the inside line, and Ewan Baker almost unloading him down the Wellington straight. Baker really had to choose where he's going to park the car carefully, because he's buried underneath the rear end of Damon Woods as they make their way into Brooklands. Woods is a little bit wide here. Chin's going to get alongside, but then he's on the outside for Luffield. He has to drive it deep in the corner, pinch the apex off and try and get the drive around the exit, but he's going to tuck back in behind. Ewan Baker is there now. He's parked his nose on the inside, and Chin can't make that preferred line onto the old main straightaway. So Ewan Baker is going to have a run here. Look at them scrambling behind as well. There is cars everywhere, even only for an 11-car field on the racetrack. They are all fighting over the same piece of real estate. 1 minute 30 to go. Woods up into Maggots and Beckett's, this time with Ewan Baker hot on his heels.
It's pretty much 10 in the lead pack out of 11.
How good is this? This is fantastic racing. Now Woods gets a slight advantage out of Maggots and Beckett's. How quickly he just pulled a gap on these guys and opened up a couple of car lengths, but it's only 2.5 tenths, and he's going to lose it all again. Coming down this long hanger straight, they're going to be hot on his rear end as they hit Stowe corner. 1/10 of a second. Oh, how's that? They looked pretty blessed for a moment. Kalen Chin trying to find any kind of inside line he can out of Stowe, but he's going to have to settle back in as Tom Katsadonis is right behind him as well as they head towards the club chicane.
Katsadonis is looking a bit threatening, and he's looking a bit desperate and wants to be up in the middle of this front pack, not sitting back there in fourth. And he's probably the man on the move at the moment. Jack Marris back to fifth. A minute ago he was sitting in second. And there we go, the fruit salad. Fruit punch. Where's the fruit punch running? It's always popular at a party.
It's got a bit of Karate Kid about him as well. I like it. Caleb Dawson in the 75 Sim Sports entry, just up into Village Corner as your leaders make their way out of the loop and then across the apex of Aintree onto the Wellington Straight. And look at this, Woods, even with a bit of a margin, he's weaving down the Wellington Straight, trying to break the toe and get whatever advantage he can, as Chin now looks to the inside of Ewan Baker, gives him plenty of room up the inside of the corner, but is it good enough? Oh, and they're going to be almost into each other. Here comes Katsadonis.
Through the inside, opportunities knocking.
But this hasn't been over yet.
I'm thinking Callum Dawson, Fruit Ninja.
Fruit Ninja. Well, Tom Katsadonis capitalising on these two fighting. He's going to get alongside. Now, it's not job done yet for Tom Katsadonis. Nothing's guaranteed in this field at the moment. They're going to... Whoa, they got close again. And a bit of a swap on, and there's 4 of them, 5 of them, all in the same piece of real estate. You could toss a tea towel over these guys. And Kalen Chin sneaks through for second. Katsadonis lost out. He goes back to third. Ewan Baker behind P4. Jack Mara from Benny Roberts, 5 and 6. An all-star field at the pointy end of the field here. Time has expired. This should be a run to the checkered flag. We were caught watching the racing there, Dave. But I think this will be a run to the checker.
2 seconds and Damon Woods has escaped. As soon as he sees them battling behind, he seems to be able to just put in that little bit extra pressure, a little bit extra speed, and escapes.
And he's been world class at doing exactly that, to open up the gaps where he needs and put the hurt on the rest of the field, as the checkered flag flies on the sprint race for Damon Woods from the pole to collect the win. That's how the result sheet will look, but the race told a very different story. Caitlin Chin across the line in second. Ewan Baker hitting the line in third in a pretty exciting and stout race for the sprint race here. 15 minutes of duration. Katsadonis behind in P4. Jack Mara rounding out your top 5 in some epic racing where the top 7 cars covered by just on 3 seconds across the finish line.
Well, 6 seconds covered the entire field.
Yeah, very close racing. I love it. And that was just the sprint race, which sets the starting grid for the 45-minute feature race. I thought it was 30 minutes earlier, but it is 45, which will include a pit stop, Dave, and that's going to throw that extra little bit of complexity into the final race of the season.
Always does, doesn't it? And they've had their little race and their hit out. They usually get a little more desperate now.
Well, they usually do, especially in the second half of the race there. So Luke's going to do some sums as we get some updated championship numbers. We do have 3 drivers in the green room, though, post-race, so we'll drag them in for a very quick chat here. Damon Woods, Kalen Chin, and Ewan Baker, your top 3 in the sprint race. Congrats, boys. That was a pretty exciting sprint.
Yeah, it was pretty chaotic, that one.
There was a couple of moments there. One for you, Damon, especially through Maggots and Beckett, side by side there with Kalen, and just that big swapper you got on right in the middle of the corner. Pretty scary stuff.
Yeah, it snapped on me pretty quickly, so it was just completely on instinct to save that one. But yeah, it was. I'm glad that Kalen backed out of it, because it could have been an absolutely monstrous shunt, but we all survived, and we continued on racing.
Or goes well and ends well. I mean, if it takes you both out, it still equalises the championship race between you guys. But it's good to see that you were both able to fight on, and you managed to just get ahead enough and let the guys fight out and slow each other down behind you.
Yeah, I saw that Kalen went for a move into this Brooklands, I think, and yeah, I think they made a little bit of contact in it. Yeah, I got enough of a gap where I didn't have to worry about having to defend going into Stowe on the last lap.
So you come into this race now with 61 points, the lead in this championship. You've got to be feeling pretty confident at this point, just knowing you probably just have to race it through and pick up a finish at this rate.
Well, it's mathematical at this point, isn't it? Pretty sure. It's 60 points for a feature race win.
I think you might be there. Yeah, you might be bang on.
Yeah.
So that might be it. We won't confirm that just yet, but yep. we'll let that hang out till the end of it. But a good result nonetheless, mate.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed that. All guns blazing at the end there. Last race of the year, so might as well put on a show.
Well, best of luck for the feature race, mate.
Thank you.
Kalen Chin, on to you, mate. Second place here in the sprint. There was a fair old dogfight for 15 minutes as well.
Yeah, it's pretty fun, just the last race, just going all out, try to have as much fun as we can and race as hard as we can without taking each other out. And, it went well. I had a lot of intense moments throughout the entire race, and Damon came out on top, and it was a lot of fun.
A bit of excitement there as well with Ewan Baker. This track tends to lend itself to some really good racing. It's one of those tracks where you can't seem to really get away at any point.
I mean, that I really expected him to back out, and then there was the iRacing glue. I was still turning left, and it just made me go straight into him. So I mean, it was just a misjudgment on my part. But I mean, Silverstone, it's one of the best circuits for racing, especially in these F4 cars. It allows, really, really good side-by-side racing, as shown just now. And yeah, I think it was a pretty decent race for me.
A solid result, mate. Best of luck for the feature race coming up soon.
Thank you.
And to Ewan Baker, who was, I think, at one point, very briefly, were you down in P5? It's hard to tell with all the chaos that took place out there, but third place in the sprint.
Yeah, I honestly can't remember. That was a rush and a half. Yeah, I was trying my best to sort of race smart and try and sort of sit in fourth position behind, mine's gone blank.
Yeah.
What dog car? Yeah, Jack Mara, thank you. Yeah, still coming down from the adrenaline of that. Yeah, I was trying to race smart, but everyone's got their elbows up and eyes forward last round of the season. So I honestly felt like a good old classic 10 top door banger that race, but without the 10 top and without the doors. So yeah, it was that was good fun, and hopefully more of the same for 45 minutes coming up.
How does the last race of the season aspect play into it now? That there's always, last day of school fever that kind of descends on these kinds of races, knowing that there's certain elements that can't be changed in the championship now, and knowing that this is the last one. You can just have a big swing for the fence.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's kind of been my season. I've had a couple of unfortunate incidents throughout, so championship position was never really up for grabs. So yeah, it's been a case of just send it and see, but especially with Kaelin and Damon fighting for the title, I can get a bit more amongst it, I think.
Well, we'll let you go get the elbows out, because we're getting a grid on our screen, so you probably need to get into the race. Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Whoops.
I didn't want to keep him from making the race start there, because your top three haven't loaded into the grid.
He's on the grid. He's on the grid.
Oh, you had made it on the grid. So Damon yet to make it into the grid, but I'm sure he'll get there. There he goes.
There he is.
So Damon Woods on the
funny.
pole for your feature race. Imagine if we kept him from making the start. Alan Chin joins him on the front row. Ewan Baker and Tom Katsadonis on the second row of the grid. From the hot dog, Jack Mara. Out of P5, Benny Roberts, Paul Rogers, Caleb Dawson, Brody Shepherd, Damien Cairns, and Brody Tressida. The last of his starters for the final dance of this season. We're away for 25 minutes of feature race time. The Motorsports Australia FIA F4 Esports Cup is a go. Look at this. Kalen Chen looking to the outside already into Village, and he's going to try and do the long route around the outside. That gives him the inside line into the loop, and he's going to park it on the curving very nicely. Now he has to get the drive out through Aintree and get that long run down the Wellington Straight. Damon Woods dragging with him as Tom Katsadonis goes up a spot already into P3, and straight away on the opening lap we're weaving down the Wellington Straight to defend position.
And, hopefully these two don't escape up the road, because I really want everybody involved, don't you?
Oh, yeah, I'd love an all-in barnyard brawl for the final race of the championship as they come out of Luffield. Woods in hot pursuit. Katsadonis from Ewan Baker right behind as well as they cut across the inside at Woodcote and down the Old Main Straight. It's great to have, despite only 11 cars, some fantastic racing that's really tight across the whole field here for this FIA F4 Esports Cup, thanks to Motorsports Australia and FRG. Up into Maggots and Beckett's. Look at this, Damon right on the gearbox of Kalen Shin into the Maggots and Beckett's corner. He rolls out of it, gives a bit more room, probably helps a little bit with the aero wash in that part of the racetrack as well. Despite being a very low aerodynamic car, they still do create a bit of aero wash, and then you can get the toe down the straight again.
More blinks and just for excitement.
Poor old Luke's lightning show. Probably
down the inside. He's down the inside.
It's a robust move up the inside at Stowe as well, and he moves across to defend the inside line. They almost got into each other, making their way down towards the chicane. Woods jumps across the curbing, tries to defend that line. Kalen tucks back in behind him. Katsudonis is just settling in for the race and the show that is evolving in front of him back there in third right now.
I think Dawson and Rogers are doing a really good job hanging on to this front group as well this time. They're right in there. I'd love to see those guys jump up in there and have a bit of a go as well. Be nice to see someone new at the front.
Oh, up the inside for Kalen Jin.
That was a really nice move, but he's dropped it back in. But he'll get the run out of here. He'll get road speed on the way out again. And I think he'll be in front by the time they get down to Luffield, is my feelings.
When he gets the drive, Damon can't move over because Kalen is occupying that part of the racetrack, and Damon's just going to have to park it as far over to the right-hand side as he can. Chin goes for the very late brakes around the outside and still has the overlap as they hit Luffield corner, which allows him to draw in front and reclaim the race lead.
And then Damon's got the little run out of there, which allows him to go down the inside, and he'll run it over that curve. There's a little bit of time you save there, and he should be in front by the time we get down here to Cops. And there he is. Oh, Damien Ken's very, very wide through Cops back there in the background in the bright green car. Ran super wide. And it's so easy to do, and you got to be careful. You get a slowdown out there.
Yeah, it's really easy to just overstep the mark by even the slightest. We saw that in the Formula Fords last week. Just a little touch of the old net code against the wall almost brought the whole race unstuck. As Chin on the inside up at Stowe to reclaim the race lead here, puts Woods back behind him. It's going to be 45 minutes of this back and forth constantly, like a tennis match at Silverstone GP for the final round.
Baker's here looking, he's trying to get in front of Katsudonis. He made a bit of a dive down into the tight chicane there, but he paid the price on the way out, and he's dropped 2 or 3 car lengths again. So but I'm expecting to see Ewan sort of push his way back up into third, but nobody seems to be able to get between these 2 front guys. That's probably because there's about a cigarette paper in it between them.
Absolutely nothing. It's a B's proverbial is usually the standard metric of measurement. Look at the gap that Chin's now opened up, just coming out of those couple of corners to try and open up the gap down the Wellington straight. Dropping back there, maybe just taking a moment to regain some composure and assess the fact that he's still under threat from Ewan Baker and Katsudonis behind. Benny Roberts still in P5, has moved up 1 spot from where he started here in the feature after dropping back earlier in the sprint race. And Jack Mara dropping down to P6 as Kalen Chin brings it onto the old main straightaway. Woods might be mounting an attack here with some closing speed. It's an old karting trick to roll off the gas a little bit earlier and give your opponent a bit of a breathing space, but then use the toe and the closing speed to attack with a bit more ferocity when you arrive on the scene. So we'll see this from Damon Woods if he can close this gap as they come out of Maggins and Beckett's. Back to Benny Roberts, who's trying to put some pressure on Jack Mara as they hit that hanger straight. And the long run down, even in these F4s, it feels like a pretty long run. On board with the Scuderia DSR Snackerchangi hot dog entry of Jack Mara. Holds on to P5 as Benny Roberts can't draw alongside in the tow. And look at this, just half a lap ago, Kalen Chin had about over a half a second from Damon Woods back there in second. Now Damon has clawed that back again to within 3/10 as they come onto the main straightaway. So you give him a bit of room and then you close it back up that quickly with the tow.
And as expected, Ewan Baker moved his way up into third, and he just hit the fastest lap of the race there as well, did Baker. It is all about... Oh, is that... just a lock brake. It is all about not losing momentum, so you can make an attack, but you dear. Hang on to that storm, Luke.
Oh. it's a bit sketchy at the moment. With Storm dropping things in and out. Even we lost live timing for a moment there as well. But we're back on and we're back off and we're back on again. Kalen Chen is just trying to hang on to this race lead. Meanwhile, Luke at Race Stars is trying to hang on to the live stream. He's trying to hang on to the iRacing connection at the moment. As Chin leads, we've still got a long way left to go in this one.
Baker, 2019. That's a quick lap.
Yeah. Big push into toe there from Baker as well, as he's tucked right up behind Damon Woods. Being able to put in that kind of lap time. Woods was a 2:02.1. Kalen in Clean Air was a 2:02.05. Now look at this. They're monstering up behind Kalen, trying to find a way around up into Maggots and Beckett's.
Yeah, the run's going to be down the hanger, and if you get a good run out of here, and Ewan's right to drop back a little bit, get himself the run out of onto hanger straight, he might be able to just pick off Damon Woods by the end of this. No, well and truly in the toe. And so you've got that sort of DRS train, for better want of a word, but where they're all in the toe from each other, and you can't overtake, because if you pull out, you got no toe and the guy in front has. So, very difficult to pass in a straight line in a pack like this.
Yeah, it's classic. It's almost taken back to the old restrictor plate racing in the NASCAR days, trying to play the game, and every move has a counter move that can be done while in the pack, and it can just be this constant game of chess, moving, a couple of hundred k's an hour. As Katsadonis does go quickest, he's a little bit further behind in that toe, so he's getting the advantage of being able to close right up behind them and not really have to trip over them. But that only lasts so long as well before you find yourself right on the back of the guys you're chasing. As he sits back there, you can see that gap. It's just about 3.5, maybe 0.4 of a second behind you and Baker. That's what he's working with at the moment, as Kalen Chin again on the defensive down into Brooklands. Woods trying to use all of the exit road and then a bit of the curbing as well to try and maximize his run and close right up alongside. I love the style of racing between these two, fighting it out for this Australian Championship. I do think Damon Woods was right, though, on the old mathematical claim, but we're going to let that play out until after this feature race is done and check the scores. They go side by side. It is up towards Maggots and Beckett's. Woods trying to draw alongside. If he can hang on in this part, he'll have the inside line, but he can't do it. Has to tuck back in behind. And at least, at the very least, he learned his lesson in that one, that you can't really make it move from the outside on the entry into Maggots.
And Baker's well up under the gearbox of Damon Woods this time round. There he is, he's trying to get down that inside. He's having a look down the inside, but I don't think he's quite got the pace to do it. And Woods is the last of the late breakers, so pretty hard to get him under brakes into the whatever that one was called.
Into Stowe Corner.
Oh, I don't know where we are. I'm
one of the most famous corners in British motorsport, mate.
I know, and I always get them mixed up.
It's hard to stay up to date, especially running at almost a different track every Tuesday night with the series we've been running across the S5000s and the Australian Formula Ford Championship. But it comes to a close tonight as the final round of the final championship left to run in this long run of FRG, running 3 consecutive championships at a time. You're still going to hit the pit stop in this race as well.
I don't think we'll be doing that again next year. Next year we'll see all the series will take a sequential, so it'll be 6 weeks or 8 weeks or however many rounds there are, consecutive weeks of a series, and then we'll go to the next series, so that people know what they're racing. It's a little bit easier to make a commitment over a more compact period of time. Say, I've got 6, 8, 10 weeks of racing. That's the series I'm doing, and I'm done. And if I want to take a seat and take a break, I'll take a break from the next series. So we're looking to change a few things up. Definitely looking to bring the team series back into this, because I think the team championship's really missing from this. And although we don't see a lot of team stuff in the real world, there is, because you've the F3s and whatever in Europe certainly do run teams, but it's not like a team championship so much as more of the individuals. But in the world of iRacing and online racing, being part of a team and being with your mates and sponsors and work is a big thing. So we're going to try and reintroduce that whole team element back into the racing for next season. Both Formula Ford, F4, F3, we'll bring that team side of things back. So, if anybody's looking to run next season, start working out who you're running with, because you're definitely going to be a part of a team, and probably 3-car teams like we did previously. That was really, really good.
It was really good when we ran. I remember the last DAA seasons.
Yep.
I ran, I think it was season 10 or season 11. Racecraft, and in the American
it was
series
Racecraft
as well.
Gold and Racecraft Black and Racecraft.
we had almost half the grid was all Racecraft cars, but it was a lot of fun having a whole bunch of the boys involved, all racing with their own individual teams. And I was lucky enough to be on the pink team, taking out the teams championship in I think it was season 10, and then on the gold team, which we did quite well in the Americas tour. New Zealand Formula 3 championship I raced with FRG. So very excited, looking forward to getting back involved on the steering side, on the simulator racing side, as compared to the commentary side of life. Not that I don't enjoy spending my Tuesday nights with you, Dave.
Right, because when you're back on the track, I can give you lots of SHIT.
That's right, and I probably deserve it too, as we pick up Callan Chin. Half a second clear now. He's managed to break the back of the gap, or has he? We'll see whether he can
not for long,
break
I don't think.
You'd be surprised, because if he keeps on putting these in and Woods and Baker continue to fight behind, we might see Chin with a bit of breathing space as they make the run through the first 10 minutes of this race, first 15 minutes of this race coming up soon.
First time we've really seen a serious wedge driven between these two guys. In Ewan Baker's done it this time, so he's been there for quite some time, a good lap or so, sitting in between them, and has created that little rift in the pack of leaders. So interesting.
Yeah, you can see the gap sits at, 4.5 tenths of a second after the long use of the hanger straight. Now, that might still whittle down the bit of racing through the next longer straights of the Wellington straight coming up. But if Chin can keep this up, he really does need Woods and Baker to fight a couple more times and slow themselves down just a little bit. And that'll give Callan the advantage of holding that gap, but it sits 3.5 tenths of a second as they make their way up towards Village at the start of this next lap, and Baker brings it right down under brakes to 2.5 tenths. He's got the bit between his teeth as Ewan Baker, and he talks about it so candidly, like he thinks he's going to fall off the track when he's given it a crack, but he's closed right up onto the back of Callan Chin now. Callan can't get away at this rate, and he's going to have to go defensive down the Wellington straight. Baker's going to have another crack at it into Brooklands, but Callan again, last of the late breakers, slips up the inside to defend this, but Baker's not giving up without a fight. He's going to keep attacking here on Callan, and he's dragging Damon Woods with him. They're having a resurgence of the fight here. We might see this race enter another phase of the battle.
Yeah, look at this lead pack. It's 8 cars long, Chris. There's 8 cars, nose to tail, in this opening, leading pack of cars.
How good is it as they come up towards...
We're just seeing Dawson just dropping off the back a little bit, so let's say 7 cars.
A 7-car battle pack still fighting it out there. Look at the difference in lines between Callan Chin and Damon Woods. It looks like Callan's quicker in the first part of Maggots and Beckett's, but then Woods gets a much better run in the second part. Sorry, Baker and Woods, I should say. And that shows now Woods right on his gearbox as they head down the hanger straight into Stowe Corner. But Woods not pulling out and trying to make the move here is interesting. You'd think he would have been quick enough to try and pull alongside and get the move done. But he tucks back in behind.
I think the problem was that Baker was picking up the toe from Callan Chin, and that made it, you pull out, you go backwards.
Well, yeah, it's hard to race on a toe that your opponent's being towed along by the car in front of them as well. It can make life especially difficult. And there's no one further up the road to help with the double or triple toe if you pull out of the slipstream. Woods a little bit wide out of turn 1 through Abbey. Has to regain the car a little bit as they head up into Village on the brakes. This is where Ewan Baker has looked so good in this part of the lap here. He's closed right up last time by. He's got a little bit closer this time around, but nothing near to what he was able to achieve a lap prior.
He needs to be a bit quicker in the slow corners, doesn't he, Chris? And, you know, the maybe because he's not being aero affected so much in the slow corners, but he certainly seems to be a bit more dominant, a bit quicker in the slow stuff, and Chin seems to be a little bit quicker in the really fast stuff.
Yeah, Chin, and there is a possibility that they're sporting slightly different setups on the cars, because this is an open setup championship, allowing the drivers to tune the F4 cars to their liking and try and maximize certain parts of the racetrack to suit themselves. And that's what we see here. We love seeing the subtle differences between the cars and even the driving styles and the way they choose their lines in certain parts of the racetrack. Watch it through here, Maggots and Beckett's. You can see Kalen cuts back across to try and open up the entry to the left-hander, where Ewan stays a little bit tighter to the left-hand side, and that actually compromises his entry into the second part of the Maggots and Beckett's chicane, which it almost works out even Stevens, but it's interesting to see what it does over the short term and the ebb and flow of the cars on track, because Baker's trying to go around the outside up at Snow Corner as Damon Woods tries to get along his inside. And it looks like Damon and Baker... Look at this, Chin trying to defend into the chicane. We're watching Tomcat Sedonis at the moment. He's sitting at the back of this battle pack, watching on as the leaders continue to fight it out. 26.5 minutes left to go.
Interesting now, we're seeing Dawson's just dropped off the back of this pack, so to the tune of so about 3 seconds, nearly 3 seconds. He was right on the pace all the way through. I wonder what's happened there. Was he just driven it a bit hard, got the tyres a little bit too hot, made a couple of mistakes? I'm not quite sure, but yeah, he had a really impressive opening few laps. He just dropped off the back, still driving a fantastic race, but just dropped off that little bit. And he's got 8 seconds behind him back to Brodie Shepherd.
Yeah,
Shepherd and Tressida are hammer and tongs out at ninth place, and yeah, they're all out there having fun anyway. They're all racing with someone.
And Damien Cairns there in P11 as well. So they're starting to spread out just a little bit around the circuit here in this final round of the Motorsports Australia FIA F4 Esports Cup. And Kalen Chin spreading out the most out front at the moment, out to 0.7 of a second over Damon Woods, who's gotten the elbows out and moved up into second. Ewan Baker back there in P3, Tomcat Sedonis in P4. There's a look at your live championship standings as they would be if they finished where they currently sit. And Damon Woods would be crowned the champion, the Australian F4 Esports champion, over Kalen Chin, currently sitting in second. Kalen really needs to claw back a lot more points, but I don't think it's going to be a reality here in this feature race. I think Damon knows it as well.
Yeah, all Damon needs to do is finish.
Yeah, just has to finish the race with the number of cars that are available. Just has to finish the race after his efforts from qualifying and the sprint race gave him a handful of points to boot as well. And they're still going to race it out there. Jack Mara looking pretty comfortable to be able to pick up third in the championship from Benny Roberts in P4, and Tomcat Sedonis, who's had an up and down season, sitting there in P5 as Luke has been working feverishly in the background to bring us these live standings that we can keep them on screen for the meantime. Just wait till someone switches position enough that'll change that, although I don't think the points will change enough to swap the positions around as we pick up Ewan Baker into third, driving into the wake of Damon Woods' Airstream as they come out of Brooklands. Slow it right down. They tend to diamond off the corner a little bit through Luffield and get on the power and try and open up the taps through Woodcote and onto the old main straightaway. 23.5 minutes left to go. We're not far away, Dave, from seeing these pit stops coming at us.
You'd think it would be in the next 10 minutes, wouldn't you?
You'd think it'd have to be coming sometime pretty soon there. You see the gap has closed up again up the front. So just as Kalen Chin got himself a bit of breathing space, it changes again now. 3.5 of a second. Woods has closed it up. He's cut that gap in half, would you believe? It was 0.7 of a second the previous lap. So it's not over yet at the front, because everyone wants to be the winner of the last one. They want to win the final.
No, all want to go to Christmas dinner being a winner.
Isn't it nice to be a winner? It's nice to be an Australian esports champion as well. I'm sure Damon Woods will be lapping up the idea of taking that one out in something that he's been so dominant in these 3 championships we've run over the last 30 weeks. 30 weeks, can you believe that? Across the S5000s and the Formula Fords, and now in the F4 championship as well. He has been an absolute force in these championships.
First car in pit lane, and it's Caleb Dawson starting into pit lane.
Oh, maybe he's going to make the big comeback to drive through the field. Dawson into the pits with a 75 Sim Sports entry. Now, is there a reason why he's come into the pits? Has he hurt the car?
I don't know. He dropped back quite a bit. He has. He's had a spin.
Yep, that'd be why he dropped back quite a bit. Good piece of driving to get it back into gear and driving along, though. He's actually come into the pits to take his service and rejoin the race here. So that's the first of the field to take to pit lane to get their service for the race. Now, I wonder again, Dave, we've talked about this so often with Damon Woods and the pit lane about how good he has been. And it started the first round of the championship, which was Laguna Seca, even way back then. Cast your mind something, 20 odd weeks ago, even more, when we ran the first round of this championship, and Damon went into the pit lane in second and emerged as the race leader. And that set the tone, because he's been that good at the pit stop since then.
I'm struggling to remember where I left my wine, let alone 20 weeks ago. Oh, Damon getting sideways again there in the middle of that complex.
And just pushing the absolute limits of the car. Watch this. Just across the apex, and man. It's actually, that actually looked quite smooth. It wasn't really the heavy sideways snap. Yeah, but it wasn't the heavy snap that we saw previously in the sprint race that almost brought them both undone. That was a relatively smooth slide between the apexes, just maybe pushing the car a little bit beyond what it can do. There's that Benny Roberts in the pit lane. So Benny Roberts in the pits now. He's the first of one of the lead pack drivers to head into the pits to take his service. He's going to drop down the order and fall down a little bit. Brady Tressida is in the pits as well. A bit deeper in the field there.
That's his Benny Roberts.
Yep, that's who we picked up a moment ago. So Benny, one of the first to flinch here. I wonder whether Kalen Chin and Damon Woods are going to go to pit lane together, or whether they're going to try to split for an over or an undercut, to see if either of them can navigate the pit lane and the pit stop a little bit quicker than the other to try and impact the outcome of this race. It's really, the ball is in the hands of Damon Woods right now. He could maybe choose to do the undercut and try to get that pit stop done a little bit quicker.
The trouble with the undercut here in an F4 is that you fill the thing with fuel, so you've got a heavy car. And so you actually, when you take a pit stop, you don't go quicker, you go slower. So he'll be hanging on and trying to outlast Kalen an extra lap on fuel, and then make that lap a super fast lap and a really quick in lap to get out in front of him. But I would suggest that Damon's going to hang as long as he can, and he'd love to see Kalen go into that pit lane before he does.
Well, I'm sure we're not too far away from finding out how it's all going to play out here. Ewan Baker doing a great job of hanging on to third right now. Tom Katsadonis just a little bit further behind in P4 as Kalen moves over just to protect that inside line through Stowe Corner once again. And they're both angled towards the pit lane entry. Oh, there goes Ewan Baker. He went for it very quickly. Now, he was practicing this during practice and qualifying, going in as deep and as late as he possibly can. So he flinches first of the top three. And we're going to keep an eye on these stationary times here, and I'm sure Luke's going to be on it, bringing us the graphics as well, because I want to keep an eye on how long it actually takes them to navigate through the pit lane. Baker showing down in 6th while going through the pits at the moment, so it's a big cost to go through pit lane, and it puts you out of sequence to quite a little bit.
Okay, so he's come back out in front of Roberts.
Well, it's good for Ewan Baker, who's maintained that, but he was 4.9 seconds pit stop time. That's almost a second slower than what Benny Roberts was at 3.93 seconds. So
wow,
one of them's either fuel short, or that's quite a long stop there for Ewan Baker. We'll see how that pans out over the course of the next 17.5 minutes, and we'll see what the leaders.
3.9, super quick.
Yeah, that is mighty quick considering Brody Shepherd, Brody Tressett at 5.33, 5.95. Caleb Dawson 4.9, Damien Cairns 4.6. So leaders fight it out into Cops Corner. That's not Cops Corner, that's Abbey.
Yeah, you're doing like I do it.
I'm doing it like you did it. Silverstone is a bloody confusing old racetrack, this place. Looking across the grandstands and that, it only helps to have a track map open to vaguely tell exactly where you're going. But surely we'll see soon.
I think Damon's sitting in his toe here too, trying to save a bit of fuel to get him that extra lap. That's what he'll be looking for.
Well, he could be trying to do that. It used to be so much easier to be able to save fuel in iRacing. I know they started cracking down on it with the updates over the seasons, but I don't think it's as easy as it used to be. Both of the guys, and even Tom Katsadonis, go by. So does Jack Mara even. So Ewan Baker taking the, would it be the early option to try and get out of the dirty air of the guys around you?
Absolutely.
And maybe that plays a part in the outcome of the podium here. We'll see. It's going to be a long game.
Katsadonis fastest lap of the race then.
Yeah, it gets a double toe. 2 minutes, 0.7 there for Tom. 2:01.004 for Caitlin Chin. 2 minutes, 0.9 best for Damon Woods. Last time by was a 2:01.06. So what we're really keeping an eye on right now, and I'll keep watching it there, is the gap between Ewan Baker to the leaders. 17.6 seconds is the margin there. Now, keep in mind he was within half a second at the time that he pretty much dived into pit lane. So if getting out of the dirty air is a benefit to Ewan Baker, we should see that time start to come down. But at the moment, the time is going up for Ewan Baker. So this might not be helping in the way he had hoped.
I think you'll find that with the extra fuel on board, I know may have a clear track. I think he's probably dropping a bit, not being in a tow, and also the car's a little bit heavy because it is now full fuel.
Yeah, considering how early he must have pitted. He must have pitted a fair few laps early because these guys are still going on. Right on board with Tom Katsadonis. I love this kind of shot.
Whoa, Damon Woods' big moment there again in that complex.
Yeah, right through Maggots and Beckett's once again. Woods getting it a little bit caught up. Now Katsadonis fancies a run to second here. Gets alongside, gets up that inside line heading into Stowe. And I don't expect Woods is going to fight this too much. He's going to let that one go. It's just the smarter racer in Damon Woods accepting, all right, I've made a mistake, I know that. And now look at this. The leader, Caitlin Chin and Tom Katsadonis, both diving into pit lane, and Woods goes by.
Now, this will be an exceptional lap from Woods. He will give this everything. It'll be his fastest lap of the race is what he's going to plan to do here.
Well, this will be exciting to watch here, as we note also Jack Mara diving into the pit lane. Ewan Baker was ending up 17.5, 17.6 seconds off the race lead. It's interesting to note that Benny Roberts has actually gone past Ewan Baker as well for P5. But we'll watch this lap from Damon Woods to see what he can do as the live standings update just a little bit to show Damon Woods extending that championship lead out to 51 points as they currently stand.
The Woods will make this as neat and as fast a lap as he possibly can. And then it should be a really exciting entry into pit lane, I would think, at the end of this lap. So wait and see what happens.
We have to really see what the in-laps, if this is going to be his in-lap, we have to watch the in-laps for Chin and Katsadonis. 158.4, 158.7 between those two. Jack Mara 159.4. So there are a couple of the times we're looking at. That's the in-lap for the guys that were at the point end of the field at the time they came into the pit lane. So Woods, by his lonesome, right out to the edge of the racetrack through Cops, maximizes the asphalt into Maggots and Beckett's by himself. Doesn't have to worry about the placement of the vehicle or the aero wash coming off the cars in front of him. Just all him at the moment. This is where we really give the drivers the opportunity to maximize their lines, get the most out of the vehicle they can to try and open up the gap to give themselves a bit more breathing space in the pit stop. Interesting to note, Kalen Chin, stationary, 5.2 seconds as well. That's a big one for Kalen Chin. Now, here goes Damon Woods into pit lane. We want to see the in-lap time, and we're thinking it might come out a bit better than a 1:58.4, which was for Kalen Chin, and then he took a 5.2 second pit stop. We know Damon is good on the pit stop. It's a 1:58.8 for Damon Woods by himself. So Damon didn't really maximize the in-lap there, 58.8 to a 58.4. Can he maximize the stationary time? As here's your next in line. They come across the line and click that one off. Damon Woods coming through. So that's bought him a bit of time. That's 0.6 of a second. And Damon Woods is just going to come to the exit, and he's going to go behind both of them.
He's lost out in that, and that was that in-lap. He's lost a half a second on that in-lap. But and now he's got to quickly find his rhythm, get the feel of the car with the extra weight of the fuel in it. But see, he would have made a slightly lesser pit stop because he needs less fuel to get to the end because one lap less.
Well, that's true, and it's only a marginal difference between the two, but 0.6 of a second in the stationary time that he clawed back in the pit lane, but lost 0.4 of a second on the in-lap, but still ended up coming out considerably further behind. He's almost a second off the race leader in Kalen Chin, who's managed to reclaim the lead after the pit stop sequence. 11 minutes and 10 seconds left to go here from Silverstone. And Tom Katsadonis buys his way into the top three as a new contender to be the first in line to have a crack at Kalen Chin for the race lead.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what Katsadonis can do here. And, you know, Cam Woods, I'm sure Damon can haul them back in. I think they've sort of dropped off Roberts and Baker a little bit. That's a bit of a gap in the middle. Probably not going to close that up. But these front three are fighting for the win.
It's interesting to note that Ewan Baker so much further behind than where he was prior to the pit stop as well. He's back there in P5, and that's a fair margin further back than he would have liked to be, especially also for Benny Roberts. Despite being up 2 spots from where he started, they're watching this lead pack in front, and they probably need the top three to fight again, slow each other down, and allow them to close up the gap to make it a 5-way race for the lead. Oh, what happened there? Benny Roberts and Ewan Baker. Yeah, Roberts, did he lose it by himself? Doesn't look like there's any significant damage from that vantage point. Let's see here on the replay from Benny Roberts coming out of the corner. He's jumped the curb and spat the car out the other side.
Yeah, he's taken that big sausage curb.
The forbidden sausage for Benny Roberts has bitten him back here. Look at this. Whack on the curb. Dropped the rear end of the car. And the smoke effects went through about 5 different animation styles in the process there as well for Benny Roberts. But he loses out big time on that one.
Surprised he hasn't been able to just drive it off, drive away. Now Woods all over the back of Katsadonis again. Now we can see just up in front there.
We're still watching the replay on the Race Star stream. Has it become a broken suspension for Benny Roberts? Is he still staying stationary on this final corner? Is he trying to coax the safety car out of the pit lane? It does look like he has potentially towed the car now. Benny Roberts out to pit lane. We're left with 10. As your top three, this is starting to get dicey. Kalen Chin, all sorts of out of control through Maggots and Beckett's, and that brings Katsadonis and Woods right into the fight now. One flinch from Kalen, and we're 3 wide down the Hangar Straight.
I think we have a new leader for the first time tonight, which is Katsadonis takes the lead. Chin's back to third. Woods slides it into second, and that's a first time Katsadonis will lead over the strike for tonight, and I jumped too soon. Woods is through already.
Damon Woods getting the elbows well and truly out there at the chicane to grab the lead back.
I think
Woods will lead.
Chin's up the inside as well.
Yeah, he's not quite alongside though. Geez, in the background, it looks like Ewan Baker's car's actually engulfed in flames. It's one of those kinds of oil fires that just lingers at high speed with the sunset settings in high racing.
It's a reflection off the metallic fern.
As Woods holds the race lead, so Gatsono's got to lead the race for one corner of the racetrack. As it looks fine there for Ewan Baker, but when he goes down the main straight, it really lights up like it's engulfed in flames, like a Ghost Rider. Classic Nicolas Cage movie. Baker sitting back there in 4, just watching this battle, thinking, I was in there last race, why can't I do it now? Why can't we be involved in that one?
Yeah, he seems to have just lost a little bit of... oh no, we're back. He seems to have just lost a little bit of pace.
I think the early pit stop was the nail in the coffin there for Ewan Baker. He probably came in just a touch too early in the race, and that hurt him with the in-lap, and then the outright pace carrying the extra fuel at the same time. And while not being in touch with the other cars, no matter what you put it down to, whether it's not getting the tow or you maybe lose the markers you were using when around other cars, he definitely did lose a little bit of lap speed and lost out on the fight here. That elevated Katsudonis, who's been the fastest man on the track this race so far, into 3rd as Callan Chin goes up the inside of Damon Woods to grab the race lead at Stowe Corner, and Woods looking to the outside, trying to get the drive. Now, this is where Damon's been so good under brakes here, but that's usually when he's been on the defensive. Callan moves across the racetrack to shut the door firmly in Damon's face and says, nope, you're not having a crack at that one, as they hit the Hamilton straight, where it's 6 minutes to go, and this race is still anybody's. There's Ewan Baker on fire in the background.
Yep. Barbecue Baker in the back.
That's how sprint cars look when they light up getting around the racetrack. Ask me how I know. As Chin leads from Woods.
Again, he closes that door on the inside on Woods. Woods trying to be optimistic and just shove it up the inside in some of these tight corners. But Kalen is wide awake to him and shuts the door every time. Fighting across the inside of the road.
Or Woods with the inside line forced Kalen to take the preferred racing line, but now he gets back on the inside at Luffield, and it might be all for naught for Damon Woods. But he's sending the message to Kalen that he really wants to pick up this race win. He dives to the inside at Woodcote, and that gives him the run. Tom Katsudonis trying to go with him here. Tom can't decide who he wants to follow here. He dives out from following Damon, tucking back in behind Kalen, then chooses Damon as a drafting partner again. Can't thread the needle through the middle. He's just going to have to wait and see what pans out. Into Maggots and Beckett's. Chin with the inside line at the right-hander. Damon gets the inside line again, back at the left turn. Can't get in front. Chin grabs the lead, pinches off the exit of the corner. Damon's in front, but here comes Katsudonis with the massive toe onto the hanger straight, and he's going to get the run, but he pulls out, hits the invisible brick wall, and can't quite. Yes, he can. He gets his nose in front. Katsudonis leads for another couple of seconds as Kalen gets absolutely closed down on the entry to Stowe Corner, and Tom Katsudonis has the preferred line heading into the chicane.
These guys are quite seriously out of hammer and tongs, aren't they? They're not giving an inch. They are all up. Look at the opportunist move down the inside by Chen then.
Oh, that almost came to tears as Ewan
Baker capitalises on it.
Yeah, like a phoenix rising from the ashes. He's on fire like the phoenix too. He dives to 3rd place. And this bit of fighting that was ultimately caused by Katsudonis and Woods sticking it up the inside has reinvigorated the race. Check this out. Watch this Chin over the curving at the final corner. Just a little bit too tight. Through the air. He was all 4 wheels off the deck, and Ewan Baker had to take evasive action to just collect 3rd. Now he's already been dispatched back to P4, but this race is far from over. 3.5 minutes left to go, and I'm sure the lead might change a couple more times.
Oh, getting some big stutters again. The feed is freezing, and I'm more worried we're going to drop out right before the finish. But anyway, yeah, these guys, they know each other's moves. They know the way they behave. They know exactly what they're doing. They can preempt what the person in front's doing before they do it. And they've done that all season. Katsunoda's now, he's just camped it there at the front. He's just holding still a bit sideways through there. He's holding station. And, it's not an easy car to get past. It's not an easy thing to do to get past around here. I think you'll see Woods take a dive down the inside here. Yes, he will. He's got a bit of overlap. Chin will try and go through with him. No, not a chance.
Oh, Tom Katsunoda's trying to hold it around the outside at Stowe Corner. He got a good drive off the corner, and look at this. They're getting antsy now because they're starting to dive across the racetrack. They're trying to choose their preferred line, or they got touched as well. And out of that left-hander because Kalen Chin has the elbows out. He forces the issue to grab second. Baker jumps on the opportunity as well to try and grab third from Katsunoda. 2 minutes left of this race. Was that a white flag? Or are we going to go another lap? Because that was right on the bubble of being within one lap in race time of race distance. So we'll have to see how that pans out. And look at this. Now Katsunoda is tapped out of the battle. We're down to just 3 remaining at the pointy end. Trying to see whether Barney's waving the white flag on the main straight or not. Can't see him from that vantage point, so we'll just race it on. And it looks like Kalen Chin and Damon Woods. It's left to one of these two. Ewan Baker further behind in third, just pushing with everything he's got to try and get back up onto the back of these guys to fight it out for the race lead. But Damon Woods leads. How many times have we been in this position at the final lap? And he can just pull out all the stops and make it happen. But Chin has the toe to his advantage as they come into Cops.
If you're looking to make, Chin will be looking to make the move down Hanger straight and try and hold it from there, because that's the most likely place that he might be able to get by. So he's setting up, wants a really good run out of here. Good road speed as he comes onto the back straight. So he's slowed up a little bit, get the run out of here. Looks like he's got a good run. And here we go.
And Damon, being the smart racer, parks them right on the outside of the racetrack. Chin tries to fake him out by touching even the grass on the right-hand side. Didn't get
line around the outside. No. And now Woods will camp it down the inside as he does.
And Calen's going to
round the outside, yes.
Tries to outbreak him. He's going to get the drive off, but here comes Damon back to the inside. It is the checkered flag. It's going to be a drag race to the line. Who's it going to be? Across the line, Damon Woods by 57 thousandths of a second across the line for Damon Woods. Man, oh man.
That was a pretty wild last couple of corners. And Ewan Baker, great drive there into third place again. Jack Mara, lovely nights racing. 4th place, well done. Tom Katsunoda's dropped back there to 5th in the end. I'm not quite sure what happened there. And Rogers, a little bit back, but great drive again, well in front of the rest of the field.
Some great racing. I love seeing these guys battle it out, but what a battle right at the end. Comes down to the final couple of corners. And a big congratulations to Damon Woods securing the Motorsports Australia F4 Esports Championship. He is an Australian champion. Woods secures the final round to take out the championship over Kalen Chin, with him across the line in second. Check out the replay of this final lap battle once again. Out of Stowe, we thought Woods had it done. And then he covers off that inside line so vehemently that Kalen sees an opportunity to try and go around the outside. Damon gets the over and under trick on him, gets his nose back in front, getting the drive off the right-hander, and drags it to the line. And it comes down to that at the smallest of margins, 57 thousandths of a second between them at the finishing line to determine the winner. That is the difference between them there. That is half a length of the car, not even half a length of the car of the main body of the F4 chassis.
That's got to be worth magic moment from iRacing, hasn't it?
I'm sure we'll have to send it in and give them a go. Great racing here in the Motorsports Australia FIA F4 Esports Cup. And Damon Woods, your victor, taking out the final night of racing with a perfect score it was as well. 100 points to his name, pole, sprint race and the feature race win to lock down the overall championship over Kalen Chin in second, and Jack Mara securing enough points to come home third in this championship tonight.
Oh, it's a long season and it's all done. And I've got to say, I'm tired.
And Damon Woods trying to do some victory donuts on the main straightaway to celebrate his win.
Not the easiest car to do a donut in. Needs a bit more horsepower for good donuts.
He's done well, though.
He's done very well.
So we'll let Damon do his donuts to celebrate before he joins us in the green room. What a night of racing. He's going to lock it up before he ejects from the session, and I'm sure in just a second we'll have him joining us in the green room tonight. There's a look at your final results then. Damon Woods taking out the overall championship and the win here in the feature race. Kalen Chin coming home in second place, and Ewan Baker across the line in third in this final round of the championship. We'll drag in. We've got four guys in our green room. We've got our top three tonight and our top three in the championship. We'll start with tonight's winners, and your winner, Damon Woods.
Thank you. That was once again an extremely close race till the end there. I'm glad we all came out on with a clean car, and yeah, it was awesome fun.
It's always a 50-50 mix with you guys, because although you guys have come out the other side more times than not in this championship, it just looks so dicey out there all the time.
Yeah, it 100% is. It's I think a lot of it's luck rather than pure skill, if not crashing into each other. But look, I'll take the luck any day of the week to have some good, clean racing.
Mate, a great night to wrap up the championship. Pole, sprint race win and the feature race win to lock it down. If there's any way to lock up a championship, dominating the final round is usually a pretty good one.
Yeah, it was a good way to cap off the season and a good way to cap off winning all three titles. So yeah, I'm very happy with the season.
Mate, and a big congratulations. That is a massive effort to do that across three championships, 10 rounds, 30 weeks in total to take all three wins.
Yeah, it was a fair commitment, especially with the Formula Renault. I've never really driven that car, so yeah, to jump in that was a real test of my skill. But yeah, to come away with the championship in F4 as well was good. It was hard, close battling the entire season, and having Kalen, if Kalen was there for the first round, that definitely would have been a lot closer in the title fight. But that's all right. I'll definitely still take the championship victory. So yeah, thank you very much.
Great result, mate. Stick around. We'll get to thank yous in just a moment. We'll go then to second place tonight by the smallest of margins. Kalen Chin, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, that was that was such a hectic last lap. Was trying to at the last corner just outbrake Damon, but then I lost the rear on the right of the chicane, and that gave him the edge. But that was such an awesome race. It was, very close racing. We barely made any contact. I don't really remember if we did or not. And there's a lot of three-ride moments with Tom, I think, as well, and that was just made the race for me. It was a lot of fun.
That final corner antics, mate, right on the very last lap. It must have been just one of those kind of do or die moments from you.
Yeah, in the stow, there's a little bit of a gap. I tried to see if I could go to the inside, but it shut. Tried to see if I could go around the outside then, or out of stow, but Damon, with his awesome defending, made me have to back out, and then it was just either brake as late as I can into the final chicane and try come out on top, or just not even try. And as a racing driver, you have to try. So, but it was worth a shot. Didn't work out, but it was still a lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed it.
Well, congratulations also runner-up tonight, but also runner-up in the entire championship, despite missing the first round of the series. Still a great result.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, missing, I think it was 2 races I missed.
You did actually,
and still
yes.
being this close is, phenomenal. But I mean, obviously, if I did do just one, it wouldn't have been straightforward. Damon's just really insanely quick, and I mean, who knows what would have happened if I did do one race. So, but I mean, obviously, second place is still an awesome result, and yeah, it's a great way to cap off the season with a really fun race.
Great result, mate. Stick around. We'll get to the thank yous in just a moment. I'm going to hand over to Dave Roberts for Ewan Baker in third tonight.
Yeah, Ewan, lovely drive, great view of the action up front, but just struggling to get in there in between them.
Yeah, I was kind of sitting back there, almost waiting for the inevitable crunch that never actually came. Yeah, Damon and Kaelin have just been phenomenal all season. They've been a step above everyone else in this series. Damon's been a step above everyone in all 3 of the series. So yeah, just to be able to even remotely hang in with them is pretty awesome. So yeah, I'm happy with the pace I had. Lost a couple of, or maybe a second or 2 in the pits. I definitely overfueled the car a little bit. I always get a bit paranoid about running low on the last lap, and I always pivot too far in the other direction and cost myself time. But not that mattered in the end, because I managed to catch up again. Unfortunate contact with Tom on the last lap. I think that was pretty bad netcode from what I heard. And this is a great way to cap off the season. I mean, 2 podiums is it's definitely the goal. I know the win is pretty far out of reach unless something crazy happens. So yeah, podium's fantastic.
Well, mate, we hope to see you back next year for a couple more series with us, and we look forward to. We've enjoyed your competition, your forceful driving, and I mean that in the nicest way. You really do put some pressure on people, and it's great to see. So been a thoroughly enjoyable having you out there, and beautifully presented car, mate. Absolutely fantastic having you a part of it.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm not sure some other people are as big a fan of my aggressive flair. I think that's I think that's my Scottish roots coming out there. Get in there, get amongst it. But it's been a fantastic season, a lot of fun, and absolutely I will be back next year because how can you stay away from this? It's just too good.
Excellent.
We'll pivot just slightly here before moving on to the thank yous. We'll go to third place in the championship. Congratulations to Jack Mara.
Cheers, mate. Yeah, what a nice surprise. I didn't really have the pace to compete with like Damon and Kaelin this season. They're operating on a different level entirely. So we'll take best of the rest, and that'll do.
Best of the rest is the way to go, mate. It's still a big effort to be able to put yourself in the top 3 cars after 10 rounds of racing with the highs and lows that come with racing like this, to still score enough points to be considered there.
Yeah, we're still racing against guys like Ben Roberts, obviously, and Tom. They're really quick guys. I think I've benefited a little bit from some guys missing rounds, but still, look, we'll take it. It looks good on the old CB.
Mate, we think it's fantastic commitment from you, and same goes to Ewan. I know time zone doesn't exactly favour you guys, and for you to turn up each week and race in the middle of the night on a Tuesday night is, you need a big thank you for doing that.
Oh, well, the thanks goes to you guys, really, because you put on such a great league, such a great environment to be a part of, and the whole team, Rue, Ty, yourself, Dave. Chris and Luke running the broadcast, it's really amazing, and FRG league racing is truly second to none.
Better polish up that F3 of yours for the next one.
Yeah, looking at some nice gold trim on that F3 car. I'm really looking forward to that. Nice number 1 on the front, beautiful.
It's going to be plenty of fun. We'll now go to Teams Championship, and representing the winning team of simrigs.com DPR. Congratulations to Benny Roberts and your team for taking out the F4 Esports Cup Teams Championship.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Yeah, you know what I say about strength in numbers. We certainly had that right from the start. I was a bit worried. Sort of Damon and Carl, they were pretty, sort of run away with the championship as they did. So we just focused on helping each other get as far up the field as we could, and yeah, paid out in the end.
Still having enough cars, plenty of time in there as well with yourself and Tom, and even Phil Worley at all bar, what was it, 2 events, still scoring some fairly valuable points. Is a big effort to try and coordinate that across a larger group of people representing the Simrigs brand and racing in red in this championship. It's still a massive effort, so congratulations to take home the team's championship.
Thanks very much.
Well, we'll turn it around. We'll go back the other way now with the thank yous. We'll start with you, Benny. On behalf of the Simrigs.com DPR team, who would you guys like to thank?
Well, of course, yourselves in the booth, FRG, Motorsport Australia for putting all of this on and making this happen. And of course, our team sponsors, Simrigs.com, Southwell Lifts and Hoys, Ben Max Mechanical, MP Designs.
Great stuff. We'll move then to Jack Mara. Third in the championship, mate. Who do you have to thank?
The whole DSR Snackachingy team back at the factory, pulling the late night hours to put the car together because I don't want to practice. I smashed it up a fair bit. So the boys are on the spanners working hard. A good thing we got some tasty chips to keep everyone ticking along that night. Shout out to Race Deck, real safe race seats. Keeping myself safe in the car. And supplying with all your racing consumables and needs. And lastly, again, you boys in the booth and behind the scenes, legendary show. Can't thank you enough.
Great stuff. I love the humour. I love it. It's fantastic. We'll go into the standings for the night then. Third place in this final round, Ewan Baker. Who do you have to thank, mate?
Big shout out to the team Kiwi Sim Racing for all the support. Time in sim racing, and sponsors Scott Technology, Speed Nation, and Inspire.net, because their constant support has been fantastic as well. Big shout out to FRG, of course, as well. They've put on 3 fantastic series this season, and definitely look forward to seeing what they've got lined up for the future. And shout out to Race Stars TV and all you guys here in the booth, because you put on a fantastic show, and honestly one of the best presented broadcasts I think I've ever seen. So it's fantastic work from everyone, and it's been great to be a part of.
Great stuff, mate. It's great to see you getting up and around it as well. We'll go then to both first and second in the championship. We'll go to second first, and second tonight as well. Caitlin Chin, who do you have to thank?
Of course, I have to thank my parents, my father and mother especially. They've always supported me in every round that I've competed in, not only in this championship, but in every other race I've done. So I really love to thank them. Pretty sure my dad's watching right now. Thank Damon Woods for being such an amazing competitor all season long. For being my buddy throughout the entire season as well. And of course, those in the broadcast, hosting the broadcast, and, just hosting this amazing event with, not just F4, but all the other series, although I didn't participate in them. And, hopefully next year we'll see how things go, and maybe it can be a bit of a more improvement in participation.
And best of luck to yourself for making sure you make it into the server on time to participate instead of being out shopping prior to while we're running to qualifying and getting ready to go racing for the night. So good effort to make the server tonight.
I think that's where Mum got the thank you.
Good job.
Yeah, I'll make sure next time.
And then to your series champion and winner tonight, Damon Woods, for the final time in 30 weeks. Who do you have to thank, mate?
After 30 weeks, I would still like to thank Door Esports, VRS, Recaro Seats, JBL, Tailored Rig, Arima Sportswear, and SX Group for all their support. The FRG boys for putting on these events, wouldn't be possible without the adminning work. So thank you very much. Big thanks to Luke for doing 30 weeks of broadcasting. So without you, it wouldn't be possible to have such a good show on for everyone. So yeah, thanks to you boys, and hopefully we can come back and defend the title next year.
Looking forward to it, mate, and I'm sure there's plenty of fantastic things on the horizon for you with what you've demonstrated in the last 30 weeks of racing, taking out all 3 of these FRG championships, and best of luck in the future for what you can do both in the sim and in the real world.
Thank you very much. We'll see how we go.
Well, Dave, that brings us to a close, mate. It's actually a bit of an emotional time. 30 weeks of racing, 10 rounds of this championship. We crown a series champion and a teams champion in simrigs.com DPR, and your champion-elect for the drivers of Damon Woods. But now it's over, and we get to look forward to when we can do it all again.
And no offense, but thank heavens it's over. It's been a long time. Tonight I can hardly even keep my eyes open or speak tonight, but been a long run. It's been interesting. We've learned lots. The whole crew have learned lots over the season. Lots of things we want to change. Some things we want to bring back. Just to sharpen it up. And every time we do one of these series, we learn something new and something more. But we'll see some changes next year. Won't go into all those because we've got to make a decision on what those changes are going to be, but there will certainly be some different things. We will see F3 back early in the season next year, I think, as I understand at the moment, which will be great because everyone loves the F3 car. And Jack Mara is our defending champion, so we've not seen Damon Woods in an F3 car, so that could be interesting too. So we'll be back with F3, I think, first out. Formula 4, talking to them at the moment, looks like we're back again next season. Well, we will be back again next season. Just exactly what form and just when, I'm not sure. Formula 4, as Rue said, Motorsport Australia, very happy with this. And Formula 4 will be back on again. Exactly what format, whatever, how many races, don't really know that yet. And we're thinking about looking at some exciting sort of different things. Plus, I believe there's some rumours of what's coming from content from iRacing could make it very interesting, because I hear the rumour there might be a very exciting little open wheeler coming somewhere in the not too distant future, but we'll wait and see.
Well, very excited for all of those. Personally, I'm very excited to get back involved in the F3 racing, and I'm sure looking forward to being involved with these championships going forward. On behalf of everyone in this broadcast, and we thank Luke for his efforts from Race Stars TV for hosting the broadcast on his end and doing all the production and helping you and I, Dave, mostly, sound like we know what we're talking about. And big thank you to Rue Coistro, Ty Ratcliffe, and Lockie Capel in the stewards room. Of course, the work that Dave does in the background as well, with the boys between rounds, helping turn things around and sort out stewards run sheets and all the formatting and admin work that needs to go down. But most importantly, thank you to all the series sponsors, and a big thanks for this one for Motorsport Australia for getting behind and helping put this on as well. And thank you to you guys, the viewers, who've tuned in, week out, live here, same time, same place, same channel on Race Stars TV to watch all the action. It's been an absolute pleasure to bring you this championship among the 3 that we've been running concurrently over the last 30 weeks. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned on FRG and Race Stars TV. I'm sure there'll be some information coming out sometime soon as to what we'll be up to next. But until then, enjoy a festive Christmas and a happy New Year. And we hope the iRating goes up for you guys in the server. We'll see you next time on Race Stars TV.